Hello, I'm Gary Acosta, co-founder and CEO of the National Association of Hispanic Real Estate Professionals, and I'm delighted to be here and be part of the Hispanic Promise Summit. I want to tell you a little bit about our organization and some of the data points that we've learned over the years. NAHREP is a purpose-driven organization made up of real estate practitioners from across the country that serve Hispanic home buyers and sellers. Our mission is to advance sustainable Hispanic homeownership. We believe in homeownership because it provides a stable environment for growth, and Latinos are a very, very family-centric demographic, and homeownership is core to the American dream. We accomplish our mission statement by educating and empowering the real estate practitioners who serve Hispanic homebuyers and sellers, by advocating for public policy that supports our mission statement, and by facilitating relationships amongst industry stakeholders, real estate practitioners, and the entire housing industry ecosystem. Our organization is structured as a 501c6 trade association. We were founded in 2000. We have over 40,000 members, mostly real estate agents and brokers, but other members of the housing ecosystem, including mortgage bankers, builders, and settlement service providers. We have 80 local chapters across the country and moving very quickly to 100. And we organize 400 local market events every year, mostly about educating the real estate community about the nuances in serving Hispanic homebuyers and sellers effectively. Our organization produces 2 reports a year, and our marquee report is our State of Hispanic Homeownership Report, where we track homeownership trends within the Latino demographic. One of the things that we track is what percentage of growth that is coming in the housing sector overall is coming from Latinos. And over the last 10 years, 51.6% of all growth has come from the Latino sector. The current homeownership rate for Latinos in this country is 47.5%, and it's trending towards 50% very quickly. This trails the national average of high 60, 68% for the entire population in the United States. But there's a good reason for that. Latinos are the youngest demographic and are just entering those prime home buying years, and we expect that gap to shrink over the coming years. When we think of the housing sector, I don't think most people recognize of what a huge percentage of GDP comes from housing in this country. About 16% of US GDP is related to the housing sector. And we look over the last 18 years, we can see that housing has doubled in size as it pertains to the GDP report. But within that, the Latino sector has tripled during that period of time. So you can make the case that not only are Latinos driving home ownership and housing in this country, but by extension, driving growth in US GDP. All of the economic indicators tell us that Latinos are going to continue to play an important role in the housing industry, especially as we come out of this pandemic. Latinos have the largest and highest labor force participation of any other demographic in the country. And we represent about 40% of all new households being formed nationwide. So if you look at the credit profiles, income trends, and a strong, passionate desire for homeownership, it makes the case that Latinos not only are going to be strong in the near future, but for the foreseeable future in this country as it pertains to homeownership acquisition. And as I said before, Latinos are young. Our median age are 29.5 years, and a full 1 in 3 Latinos in this country are under the age of 18. So the data points that give us an indication of whether or not you're going to be in a position to buy a home in the coming years, credit scores, income, wealth, all of those things improve and get larger over time as you age. So we can be pretty sure that Latinos are going to continue to be a force in homeownership in the coming years. Again, more information about the demographic, not just of the Latinos at large, but who are buying the homes in this country. So the average age of a Latino home buyer was 40 years last year. The majority of those Latinos are US born. Their median income was almost $70,000 per household. And they are twice as likely to live in multi-generational homes. Another thing we look at is where is the growth coming from? Where geographically are Latinos buying homes? But 10 years ago, I would have said California, Texas, Florida represent the large majority of growth in the Latino demographic, both in terms of population and in terms of home ownership. But that's changing. We're seeing some of the biggest growth coming in non-traditional markets in Arizona, the Midwest, and the South. So Latinos are moving to where there's affordable housing, and they're moving to where there are jobs. I want to close by thanking you for giving me the opportunity to participate in this summit and reminding the employers that Latinos are some of the most aspirational people that you have within your workforce. Latino immigrants come to this country for economic opportunity. And because family is so core to who we are in terms of our personality and our value system, homeownership is going to be at the center of our aspirations. So keep that in mind. Your Latino employees are going to be some of the most loyal that you have, and they're going to be some of the most aspirational and optimistic that you have within your entire workforce. And homeownership is going to be one of the cornerstones of the American dream for them and their families now and moving forward. So thank you. Congratulations on this event. It's an honor to be part of the Hispanic Promise Summit and to be a partner for this great event.